My daughter stood up at our company meeting and told 50 people that my business methods were outdated and needed to change. I smiled, nodded, and walked out. The next morning, the $4.2 million company she thought she'd inherit was sold to our biggest competitor. My name is Carl Pierce. I'm 58 years old, and for 40 years I built what I thought was going to be my family's legacy. Turns out I was wrong about the family part. Let me start from the beginning, because you need to understand what we built to understand what was lost. It was 1985 when Margaret and I took out a second mortgage on our little ranch house in Des Plaines, Illinois. We were 20 years old, broke as church mice, and had this crazy idea to start a food distribution company. Everyone thought we were nuts. "Why compete with the big guys?" my father-in-law asked. "You don't know anything about food distribution." He was right. We didn't. But Margaret believed in me, and I believed we could do something different. Not bigger, not flashier, just different. Those first years nearly killed me. I worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week, loading trucks myself at 4 a.m., driving deliveries until midnight, visiting every restaurant, grocery store, and cafeteria in the Chicago suburbs. My hands were permanently stained from handling produce crates. My back ached every morning, but we were building something. Margaret was pregnant with Sarah in 1987, working part-time at a dental office while doing our books at night. I remember her sitting at our kitchen table, 8 months pregnant, calculator in one hand, receipts scattered everywhere, trying to figure out if we could afford a second delivery truck. "Carl," she said one night, looking up from a pile of invoices, "are we crazy?" "Probably," I said, "but we're crazy together." Sarah was born on April 22nd, 1988, 7 pounds, 2 ounces, with her mother's green eyes and the loudest cry in the maternity ward. When I held her in that hospital room at St. Mary's, still smelling like diesel fuel from the morning's deliveries, I made a promise. She'd never struggle like we did. She'd have every opportunity, every advantage I could give her, and I kept that promise every single day for 35 years. By the time Sarah was walking, our company was doing $200,000 a year. Not much, but it was growing. We had our first real employee, Eddie Rodriguez, who's still with us today. Eddie understood what we were trying to build: relationships. Real relationships with real people. See, the big distributors treated customers like account numbers. We treated them like family. I knew the owner of Giuseppe's Italian restaurant was saving money for his daughter's wedding. I knew the manager at Riverside Elementary was dealing with budget cuts and needed flexible payment terms. I knew Mrs. Brooks at Golden Dragon was working 80-hour weeks to keep her family's business alive after her husband's heart attack. That's how you build a business that lasts, one relationship at a time. Margaret was the heart of our operation in those early years. She answered phones, did payroll, handled customer complaints with a patience I never had. When angry suppliers called about late payments, Margaret could sweet-talk them into giving us another week. When stressed restaurant owners called at 11 p.m. because a delivery was missing, Margaret would call our driver and make it right. "People don't buy from companies," she used to tell me. "They buy from people they trust." Sarah grew up in that environment. After school, she'd come to our warehouse. We'd moved into a real building by then, 5,000 square feet in Elk Grove Village. She'd help Margaret file invoices, organize the office, occasionally ride along on deliveries with me. I remember when she was 12, we were delivering to a nursing home in Schaumburg. The kitchen manager, a tough guy named Pete, who'd worked in restaurant kitchens for 30 years, was giving me grief about the quality of our lettuce. "Your produce is getting sloppy, Carl," Pete said. "Corporate's breathing down my neck about food costs." Before I could respond, Sarah piped up from behind me. "Mr. Pete, did you check lot number 4472? That lettuce came from the Henderson farm in Wisconsin. They had some rain issues last week, but lot 4473 is perfect. Dad always brings backup when weather affects quality." Pete looked at this 12-year-old kid, then at me, then back at her. "You train them young, don't you, Carl?" "She trains herself," I said, proud as hell. By high school, Sarah was working summers in every department: warehouse, office, customer service, even riding shotgun on delivery runs. She was smart, really smart, but more than that, she had good instincts for people. She could read customers, understand what they needed before they asked. "Sarah's got the gift," Eddie told me one day when she was 16. "She sees the business like you do, like it's about people, not just numbers. The gift. That's what we called it. Some people could look at spreadsheets all day and never understand a customer. Others, like Sarah, could talk to someone for 5 minutes and know exactly what they needed. When Sarah graduated high school in 2006, we were doing $2 million in annual revenue. 15 employees, 3 warehouses, contracts with major restaurant chains throughout the Chicago metro area. But more than that, we had something the big distributors didn't have: loyalty. Customers who'd been with us for 10, 15, 20 years. Suppliers who trusted us. Employees who felt like family. Margaret and I were talking about college for Sarah. Northwestern University had accepted her into their business program. Tuition was going to be $37,000 a year, a fortune for us back then. But Margaret was adamant. "She's going," Margaret said. "We didn't build this business so she could skip college. We built it so she could have choices." So Sarah went to Northwestern. Cost me $148,000 over 4 years between tuition, books, housing, and everything else a college kid needs. I never complained about it, never threw it in her face. It was my job as a father to give her opportunities I never had. During those college years, our business kept growing. By 2008, we were doing $3.5 million annually. Then the recession hit, and everyone told me we were going to get crushed. Small distributors like us supposedly couldn't survive when restaurants were closing left and right. But here's the thing about relationships. They matter most when times get tough. While the big distributors were cutting credit terms and dropping struggling customers, we did the opposite. We worked with people, extended payment schedules, helped restaurants restructure their orders to cut costs without sacrificing quality. Giuseppe, the Italian restaurant owner I mentioned earlier, came to me in December 2008. His daughter's wedding was off. She'd lost her job and he couldn't afford the reception he'd promised her. "Carl, I might have to close," he said, sitting in my office with his head in his hands. "I'm 3 months behind on everything. The bank's threatening to call my loan." I looked at Giuseppe's account. He owed us $12,000. A lot of money for us back then. "Here's what we're going to do," I told him. "You pay us $500 a month until it's clear. Keep ordering what you need. When business picks up, we'll go back to normal terms." Margaret thought I was crazy. "Carl, if everyone defaults, we'll lose everything." But Giuseppe didn't default. He paid every month, $500 on the dot. When the economy recovered in 2010, he was still our customer. Still is today, actually. His daughter had a beautiful wedding in 2012. Giuseppe told everyone at the reception how we'd kept his family business alive. That's how you build something that lasts. Sarah graduated in 2010 with a business degree and good grades. She could have gone anywhere, done anything, but she wanted to come back to the family business. "Dad, I want to learn this from the ground up," she said. "Not as your daughter, but as an employee. Start me in the warehouse. Let me earn my way up." Smart girl. She spent 6 months in the warehouse learning inventory systems, understanding how our logistics worked. Then 6 months in customer service, taking orders, handling complaints, building relationships. By 2012, she was managing our largest accounts, and she was good at it, really good. The customers loved her. She had Margaret's patience and my instincts for reading people. When Riverside Elementary was struggling with budget cuts, Sarah figured out how to restructure their orders to save them 15% without cutting quality. When Golden Dragon wanted to expand their catering business, Sarah connected them with 3 new suppliers and helped them plan their growth. By 2015, we were doing $5 million annually. Sarah was my operations manager, and we were talking about her taking over more responsibilities. Margaret and I celebrated our 30th anniversary that year with a small dinner at Giuseppe's. Margaret took my hand across the table and said, "We did good, Carl. We built something beautiful. I thought we had all the time in the world." Margaret started feeling tired in October 2018. "Just tired," she said, "working too hard." But by December, she was losing weight, having stomach pain. The doctor ordered tests. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. From diagnosis to the end, only 5 months. Those were the worst months of my life. Margaret fought hard, went through all the treatments. Sarah was incredible during those months. She practically moved into the hospital, held her mother's hand through every chemo session, brought her flowers from our garden every visit. The last thing Margaret said to us was in room 217 at Northwestern Memorial, March 15th, 2019, about 6 a.m. Sarah and I were both there, had been there all night. Margaret opened her eyes, looked at both of us and whispered, "Take care of each other." We promised we would. After the funeral, Sarah and I leaned on each other hard. She came over every Sunday for dinner. We'd cook Margaret's recipes, her pot roast, her apple pie, her famous lasagna that took 6 hours to make properly. We'd look through photo albums, tell stories about Mom, cry together sometimes. It helped, having someone who missed her as much as I did. Sarah understood the hole Margaret left in our lives, understood how quiet the house felt without her laugh, her voice calling from the kitchen, her presence that had filled every corner for 34 years. The business kept us grounded. Work was something we could control when everything else felt chaotic. Sarah threw herself into operations, took on more responsibility, handled things that Margaret used to manage. We were a team, getting through the grief together. Then in November 2021, Sarah met Kevin Martinez. She was 33, had been single for about 2 years after a relationship that didn't work out. I was actually happy when she started dating again. Margaret had always worried that Sarah spent too much time taking care of us and not enough building her own life. Kevin was 34, had an MBA from Wharton, worked for some tech startup downtown called Velocity Solutions. Clean-cut guy, well-spoken, knew all the right things to say. When Sarah brought him to dinner for the first time in December, he made a good impression. "Mr. Pierce, Sarah's told me so much about your company," he said, looking around our updated office space. 40 years in food distribution. That's incredible longevity in today's market." Longevity. I liked that word. It meant he understood what we'd built. "What kind of work do you do at Velocity?" I asked. "Strategic consulting for mid-market companies," Kevin said. "We help businesses optimize their operations, leverage technology, scale more efficiently. Basically, we help successful companies become even more successful." Sarah was hanging on his every word. I could see she was impressed by his education, his business, vocabulary, the confidence he projected. After years of dealing with our down-to-earth suppliers and customers, Kevin probably seemed sophisticated, worldly. They got engaged in June 2022. Sarah was glowing, happier than I'd seen her since before Margaret got sick. Kevin seemed to treat her well, talked about their future together, their plans for marriage and family. The wedding was beautiful. October 2022, 180 people at Pinstripes in Northbrook. I walked Sarah down the aisle thinking Margaret would have loved this day, would have cried during the ceremony, would have danced until midnight at the reception. In my father of the bride speech, I welcomed Kevin to the family and talked about how excited I was to have him join our team at Pierce Food Distribution, because that was always the plan. Sarah would eventually take over, and Kevin would help her run it. Family business, family legacy, everything we'd worked for. I had no idea that Kevin had very different plans, but things started changing after the honeymoon. Kevin began asking different questions about the company, not about customers or suppliers like I'd expected, but about growth opportunities and market penetration and digital transformation strategies. He'd throw around phrases like leveraging synergies and optimizing operational efficiency and scaling through strategic partnerships. At first, I thought it was good. Fresh perspective from someone with an MBA and consulting experience. But then, he started questioning everything we did. Why did I still visit customers in person when we could automate relationship management through CRM software? Why didn't we use predictive analytics to forecast customer needs? Why weren't we leveraging e-commerce platforms to expand our market reach? "Carl," he said one day in January 2023, sitting in my office with a legal pad full of notes, "you've built something incredible here. But there's so much untapped potential. With the right technological infrastructure, you could triple your revenue in 2 years. Triple our revenue. We were already doing $5 million annually, growing steadily." But Kevin made it sound like we were leaving money on the table. "What exactly are you proposing?" I asked. Kevin flipped through his notes. "Customer portal implementation, automated inventory management, dynamic pricing algorithms, strategic partnerships with larger distributors. Basically bring Pierce Food Distribution into the 21st century." Sarah was listening from the doorway. "Kevin's been researching industry best practices," she said. "Some of these ideas could really help us compete with the bigger players." Industry best practices. Competing with bigger players. Since when was that our goal? "Sarah, we don't compete with the big distributors," I said. "We do what they can't do. We know our customers personally. We build relationships they'll never have." Kevin smiled politely. "And that's valuable, Carl. Really valuable. But relationship building doesn't scale efficiently. At some point, you need systems that can grow without constant personal intervention. Personal intervention." He made it sound like a weakness. By spring 2023, I noticed Sarah spending a lot of time in Kevin's makeshift office. We'd given him a desk in our conference room. They'd be in there with laptops open, talking quietly, pointing at spreadsheets and charts I'd never seen before. "What are you two working on?" I asked one day. "Just some efficiency analysis," Sarah said. "Kevin's helping me understand where we might be able to streamline operations." In June, Kevin suggested we hire a business consultant to evaluate our current market position. The consultant was Jason Webb, one of Kevin's former colleagues from Velocity Solutions. Cost us $18,000 to tell us we needed to modernize our approach and embrace digital transformation. Jason's report was 47 pages of charts, graphs, and recommendations that basically said everything we did was outdated. Our customer service model was labor-intensive and non-scalable. Our inventory management was reactive rather than predictive. Our sales approach relied too heavily on legacy relationship structures. 40 years of trust and loyalty reduced to a consulting buzzword. "This is valuable insight," Kevin said, presenting Jason's findings to Sarah and me in July. "It gives us a roadmap for strategic evolution." Sarah nodded along. "Some of these recommendations make a lot of sense, Dad. Maybe we should consider implementing a few of the easier changes first." I looked at my daughter, who used to understand instinctively why Giuseppe trusted us, why Mrs. Brooks called me personally when she had problems, why our customers stayed loyal even when bigger distributors offered lower prices. "Sarah, remember when Golden Dragon had that kitchen fire 3 years ago? Mrs. Brooks called me at midnight crying because she was going to miss the morning delivery to her catering client. What software program would have handled that? Dad, nobody's saying we stop caring about customers. We're talking about using tools to serve them better." But that wasn't what they were talking about. Not really. In August, I started noticing changes in how Sarah interacted with customers. She was still professional, still helpful, but something was different. She'd mentioned system upgrades and improved efficiency during routine calls. She started pushing customers toward online ordering instead of calling in orders personally. When Eddie Rodriguez, our longest-serving employee, came to me with concerns about the changes, I realized how serious this was getting. "Carl, Sarah's been asking questions about customer contracts, profit margins on specific accounts, stuff she never cared about before," Eddie said. "And that Kevin guy, he's been taking pictures of our warehouse setup, asking about our supplier relationships. Feels like he's studying us, That night, I went through our customer files looking at notes Sarah had been making. Next to Giuseppe's account, she'd written low margin, high maintenance. Next to Mrs. Brooks's, inefficient payment terms, requires personal attention. These were relationships that had sustained us for decades, and she was evaluating them like line items on a spreadsheet. I confronted Sarah the next day. "What's going on with these customer evaluations?" She looked uncomfortable. "Kevin's been helping me analyze our profitability by account. Some of our oldest customers are actually costing us money when you factor in the time investment. Sarah, Giuseppe's been with us for 22 years. Mrs. Brooks helped us get through the 2008 recession. These aren't just accounts. They're relationships. I know that, Dad. But Kevin's right about needing to think strategically. We can't keep doing business the same way forever. Forever. Like 40 years of success was a mistake we needed to correct." The breaking point came in September. Kevin arranged a meeting with representatives from Consolidated Food Services, one of the biggest distributors in the Midwest. He presented it as an exploratory partnership discussion. "This could be huge for us," Kevin explained. "Consolidated is looking for regional partners with established customer bases. They'd provide technology, logistics support, expanded product lines. We'd maintain our brand identity while gaining access to enterprise-level resources." I sat through that meeting listening to Consolidated's acquisition manager explain how they'd optimize our operations and leverage our market position and streamline our service delivery model. What they were really talking about was buying us out and converting our customers to their systems. After they left, I asked Kevin directly, "What exactly did you tell them about our business?" "Just general information. Our revenue numbers, customer base size, geographic coverage. Standard due diligence material." Due diligence material. He was feeding our confidential information to a potential buyer. "Kevin, did it occur to you to ask me before sharing our financial information with competitors?" Sarah jumped in before Kevin could answer. "Dad, they're not competitors if we're partnering with them. Kevin's trying to help us grow." That's when I realized what was really happening. Kevin wasn't trying to modernize our business. He was trying to position us for acquisition, and Sarah either didn't understand that or didn't care. The quarterly meeting was scheduled for September 28th. All 50 of our employees would be there: warehouse staff, drivers, customer service, management. Kevin had requested time on the agenda to present strategic initiatives for organizational advancement. I had no idea what he was planning to say, but I had a feeling it wasn't going to be good. I was right. The quarterly meeting was held in our main conference room. 50 people packed in: warehouse supervisors, drivers, customer service reps, office staff, people who'd been with us for 15, 20 years. Eddie Rodriguez was there, along with Maria Santos from customer service, Jim Walsh from logistics, all the folks who'd helped build this company one relationship at a time. I was halfway through presenting our third quarter numbers, which were excellent, by the way, $1.3 million in quarterly revenue, when Sarah raised her hand. "Dad, can I add something?" "Of course." She stood up, looked around the room at faces she'd known since childhood, and said, "I think we all know that our industry is changing rapidly. The traditional approaches that got us here, the old school methods that built this company, they're not going to take us where we need to go." The room went quiet. Eddie shifted in his seat. Maria looked confused. "Kevin and I have been working on some initiatives to modernize our operations, to bring Pierce food distribution into the 21st century, because honestly, some of our current methods are holding us back from reaching our full potential." 50 people staring at me. Some of them had gray hair, had been loading trucks and taking orders since Sarah was in elementary school. They knew what old school methods meant. They knew who she was talking about. "We're excited to share some new directions we'll be taking," Sarah continued, her voice getting stronger. "Starting with updating our customer management systems and exploring strategic partnerships that can help us scale more effectively." I looked at my daughter, the little girl who used to ride along on deliveries, who understood instinctively why Giuseppe trusted us with his family's livelihood. Then I looked at Kevin, sitting in the back row with that slight smile I was beginning to recognize. "Thank you, Sarah," I said quietly. "That's very comprehensive feedback." I gathered my papers, walked to the back of the room, and left. Didn't say another word, just walked out of my own company meeting. That night, I sat in my home office surrounded by 40 years of business records, customer thank you letters, photos from company picnics, contracts signed with handshakes and trust. I thought about Margaret, about the promises we'd made to each other, about the legacy we thought we were building. At 11:30 p.m., I sent an email to Nicole Parker, my attorney. "Need to see you first thing Monday morning. Confidential matter regarding immediate business sale." Nicole's response came back in 10 minutes. 8 a.m. Monday. My office. "What's the timeline?" "As fast as legally possible." By Wednesday, Nicole had contacted 4 companies interested in acquiring established food distributors. By Friday, we had a preliminary offer from Midwest Regional Foods, $4.2 million for complete acquisition. "They want to keep everything," Nicole explained. "Same employees, same customer relationships, same business model. They think your approach is exactly what they're looking for." I signed the letter of intent that afternoon. The sale closed on October 12, 2023. I signed the papers at Nicole's office at 10 a.m. while Sarah and Kevin were at the quarterly supplier meeting in downtown Chicago, probably talking about strategic initiatives and operational optimization. At 2 p.m., Sarah called me. Her voice was shaky. "Dad, there are people here saying they own the company. What's happening?" "I sold it." Long silence on the other end. "You sold it? You sold our company?" "Sarah, last month you told 50 people that my methods were outdated and holding us back, so I figured you'd be happy to see some new management take over." "Modern management." "Dad, I didn't mean—" "You meant exactly what you said. And Kevin got exactly what he wanted, just not the way he expected. The new owners offered Sarah a position as regional account manager, lower title, lower pay, no ownership stake, no decision-making authority. She lasted 2 months before quitting. Kevin's strategic partnership ideas didn't impress the new management. They were more interested in maintaining our existing customer relationships than disrupting them with technology platforms. By Christmas, Sarah and Kevin's marriage was falling apart. Turns out Kevin had been counting on running a $5 million company, not working as a junior consultant for someone else's business. Me? I took my money and moved to Santa Barbara, California. Always wanted to live near the ocean. Margaret and I had talked about retiring there someday, watching sunsets from our own deck. I found a condo with a harbor view, started going to a little coffee shop called Ocean Grounds every morning. That's where I met Jennifer Walsh. She'd been running the place for 8 years since her husband passed, built it from nothing into the busiest cafe in the neighborhood. "You have the look," she said one morning, refilling my coffee without being asked. "What look?" "Business owner. Recently retired. Either sold or lost something you spent your whole life building." Jennifer understood what I'd been through. She'd had her own family drama when her adult kids wanted her to sell the cafe and invest the money more wisely. She'd refused, kept the business, and now her kids barely spoke to her. "Sometimes you have to choose between being right and keeping the peace," she told me. I chose being right. We've been together almost a year now, not married, just together. We take walks on the beach, cook dinner at home, talk about everything except business. It's peaceful. Sarah calls sometimes. The marriage ended in divorce last spring. Kevin moved back to Philadelphia, got a job with another consulting firm. Sarah's working for a logistics company in Chicago, making decent money, but nothing like what she would have inherited. "I'm sorry, Dad," she said during our last conversation 3 months ago. "I know I screwed up. Kevin convinced me that your way was wrong, that we needed to change everything. I was an idiot. You weren't an idiot. Sarah, you were influenced by someone who didn't understand what we'd built. Is there any way to fix this? Any way to make it right?" I looked out at the Pacific Ocean, thought about Margaret, thought about 40 years of building something I believed would last generations. I don't know, sweetheart. Some things can't be unfixed. If someone's listening to this story, here's what I learned. Build something you're proud of, but don't assume the people you're building it for understand what it cost to build it. Respect has to be earned every day, not inherited from previous generations. And sometimes, walking away with your dignity intact is better than staying and fighting for something that's already lost. The business I spent 40 years building is still running. They kept our name, kept our employees, kept our customers. Giuseppe still gets his produce delivered on time. Mrs. Brooks still has someone to call when problems arise. Eddie Rodriguez is still working there, probably training some young person the way we trained Sarah. The only thing that changed was ownership and family. I'm 58 years old, I've got money in the bank, a woman I care about, and a quiet life by the ocean. It's not the life I planned when I was 20 years old, taking out that second mortgage with Margaret's blessing and a crazy dream about food distribution. But it's a good life, and sometimes that has to be enough. You can't inherit wisdom. It has to be earned through decades of mistakes, hard decisions, and relationships built one handshake at a time. And sometimes the greatest gift you can give the next generation is letting them learn that lesson on their own. The difference between building a legacy and building a business is simple. A legacy survives because people believe in what you stood for, while a business survives because people believe in what you can do for them. And only one of those things can be taken away from you.